Hey guys, Sergio P here, and in today's video we'll be doing part 2 of the bag packing series that I was doing last week, specifically the grip and stance bag. I thought there was some really good tips and tricks in this video specifically, so I just wanted to make it its own and not let it be lost at the end of last week's video. So thanks in advance to all of you guys who watched till the end, and let me know down below if you have any hacks that you implement into your traveling. I'm always looking to get better, and I'm always looking to streamline a little bit more. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Last bag is this guy. My stand bag, grip bag. I love this thing. This thing is phenomenal. It is the medium roller bag or something by Sergio P. I'll link it down below. Essentially, I have not checked into an airport where the TSA agents weren't like, whoa, that's a really nice bag. Because it really is. It's different than what you normally see. It's reinforced, but not hard cased. So it's actually kind of in between both, but gives you plenty of structure that you need to divide all your stuff and make sure that it's all nice and secure. I've trusted this bag. It's been to Japan with me, it's been to LA, it's been to London, it's been to New York, it's been all over. It's been everywhere with me. It's been in and out of airplanes. It's been manhandled by every TSA agent that's pissed off that day, and it is still here. Yeah, it's not the prettiest that it's ever been, but it still works. The zippers still work. The wheels are still attached, just barely, but the wheels are still attached. And yeah, I just love this thing. So get your hands on a bag like this if you can. It's also like to the inch, the largest you can go without paying for oversized fees. This is the medium version of this bag. They also have a large version of the bag, but if you get the large version, you'll be paying an extra 50, 60 bucks if you're flying with it, let's say, just to bring it on the plane because it's oversized. So essentially, this is the perfect size for not paying additional fees, that you just pay the regular baggage fee. However, the difference is that the inside length is 30 inches, whereas I think the inside length of the bigger one is 32 or 34. Essentially, you can fit like 9-foot stands in the bigger bag, whereas in this one you really can only, like the biggest stands I've been able to find are 7 feet that actually fit in here and are decently sturdy. Keep that in mind if that's something that's, you know, an issue for you. But honestly, this bag is plenty big, and for the additional, let's say, 100 bucks, I don't think having bigger stands is necessarily worth it when I could just rent the bigger stands once I get to those cities if that's something I need. So essentially, this is plenty for me. Let's go ahead and pack it up. Really sturdy YKK zippers. They're not going anywhere. Yeah, we've got 2 dividers up here. I usually, honestly, the 2 dividers at the top, actually, I'll probably do some B-roll of the bag. The 2 dividers at the top are usually the only place that I keep clothes in. If I'm going for 3 days, I'm bringing 2 pairs of underwear, 2 t-shirts, maybe the one I'm wearing, and like the pair of pants and the hoodie that I'm wearing, that's it. So I really don't need much. And I usually just kind of cram it as a last minute, and 99.9% of the weight that I'm bringing is all equipment. So yeah, and maybe my toothbrush, but other than that, that's all we need. Grip bag. So grip bag, I'm gonna be bringing C-stands this time. And because I'm driving, and because the trunk of my car is large enough for me to put the C-stand on its own, I'm just gonna do that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the legs off and we'll put the legs in here. So those do fit in this bag, so we'll do that. It's also a good time to show you guys the Sergio P 7 foot to go. So this is the smallest, it's even smaller, look at that. Ooh. This is the smallest stand that I've been able to find that is also super duper sturdy enough to hold up, like, so it's, so I put the 8600s on here. It's not supposed to, but I have done it as long as you're very careful and you make sure you don't have like a huge softbox on it. And if you're just having like a regular standard reflector, it does the job, it's fine. Just make sure you're not outside in the wind or kind of on a bank or something. So just, but yeah, it's totally sturdy, it's super fine. I like how it opens up, the legs kind of do this. Whoa, I almost hit the camera there. So it's got a very nice wide base and it's 7 feet tall. So plus this also allows you to kind of fine tune the height ever so slightly. So I do like this, it fits really tight. Actually, this even fits as a carry-on. It's even smaller than these things, which are like the super cheap, like $20 stands that you are probably very familiar with. So these things are still bigger than this guy, which is much more sturdy and actually does hold an 8600 on it. So again, I'm not saying that it's made for the 8600, but it does hold it. So keep that in mind. That stand essentially is probably gonna be just for the 8200, which means if I'll be using the 8200, I'm gonna bring this guy, just a little bracket that allows me to use all of my Bowens reflectors and stuff on the little flash. Next, this guy and this guy. So these two reflectors, put them together, put them right here, and we're good to go. Next up, we're gonna take a couple additional grip heads. We're just gonna put them in the pouch at the top here. I'm not gonna bring the boom of the C-stands. I'm just gonna bring the actual stand because I just want something sturdy. I don't necessarily need the booming capability. So I'm just gonna save a bit of weight that way. This we're gonna go straight into the car. I could take the turtle base, just close that up, and throw that in the bag with the rest of the stands. I think I'm gonna take the mini stand and the large stand, and I'm just gonna leave this black C-stand here. I only have 3 C-stands, so it's gonna be one of those. I also will be not using the Mola, probably travels the least well out of all of my modifiers. I do have a traveling case for it, but it's not necessarily fragile, but I don't like to travel with it, essentially. It's heavy, it's cumbersome. I treat it as if it's fragile because it was expensive, so we'll leave this here. So that frees up the mini stand. Mini stand, I will bring the boom because it's so small, and B, it gives me that extra, 2.5 feet of reach if I do need it. So I'll put that back in here as well. One of my favorite things about taking the mini C-stand is that the shaft itself fits right here in that 30-inch space that the bag allows me to keep. So, and funny enough, it's got a bigger base than the regular stand. It's like slightly wider and beefier. Yeah, so there we go. So now, I've got 3 super duper sturdy stands, or at least 2.5. I've got 3 flashes. I've got 2 cameras, video rig, camera rig. I've got a film camera, I've got film. I've got, what else do I need? I'll need some modifiers. I've got 2 reflectors. I'm also gonna bring these guys. Essentially, these are my go-to travel umbrellas. Just honestly the best umbrellas in the game. If you're looking for umbrellas, get yourself some Photech. Buy nice or buy twice. You know how I like to say that. Main reason is if you haven't watched my video on the best lighting modifiers for photography, I just kind of outline real quick that these have fiberglass rods, which means they can be bent and they can be, manhandled again by TSA without worrying too much about these rods here bending. And there's also 10 of them, so it's slightly more rounded if that's something you need. And they've got this little extension shaft, I guess, that you can remove. So you can be really nice and close to your subject. On the small one, it's less noticeable, I would say. Like, it's still a lot closer. But on the large one, I don't know if you guys see it up here, the large guy, extension on the large honestly allows you to be like 2.5, 3 feet closer to your subject, which dramatically changes the light. So it's a really interesting feature. It's not something I cared about when I bought these umbrellas, but it is a really cool feature that I've used many times and one that I will continue to use. They also have an Octobox kind of front covering that makes the light as soft as you could ever need it. But I'll be using these mostly as background lights, and we'll be shooting, we'll be shooting with gels. So let me get the gels. Because I'm shooting portraits, because you guys know that I shoot very colorful images, my portrait work has always been very gel focused. I've always shot a lot with gels, so we'll be grabbing some of those. I've got my full-size gels over here that are just all separated by their corrections, greens, reds, yellows, blues, types of colors. And these are for the big flashes. And I've also got a bunch of these smaller gels with this little Velcro thing that I've had for years. And it just goes on top of the 8200 really easily. Goes on top of the 8200s really easily. I've got some Velcro on them, and yeah, just ties on the gels and it's easy to go. You can totally dramatically change the color of your photos. One other thing I do want to bring is this guy. This is the tether table from Strobe Pro. Essentially, it's the identical tether table by Tether Tools at 1/3 of the price. I'm also gonna bring this reflector. Inside here, there's like a little 5-in-1 reflector. I use it mostly as a shoot through more than a bounce, just to create a very soft light with this. So if I can, between this and this, depending where I put it, I can create the largest or the smallest softbox that I want. So it's just ultimate control, whereas having a softbox is like, this is what you get, which is fine if that's all you need, but At least this way I can kind of have both up and just see where I need it. I will probably also need a couple clamps. That's most of it. Camera just died, sorry about that. So I think one thing that's very important when you're traveling is to just kind of limit all of the uncertainties and just have all of these kinds of little things as streamlined as possible. You want to be shooting and putting all of your effort into the actual shoot and not having to worry about if you have all of your batteries charged, if you brought the right A-clamp, or if you have the right adapter. I hope you guys got a couple tips and tricks out of this. If you have some that I don't use or that I don't implement into my shoots, please let me know. Like I said, I'm always looking to streamline. I'm always looking to get a little bit better and maybe get new bags or new things that help me get the job done a little bit more effectively. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. Stick around for next week because I'll be doing basically a video with all of this stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.